All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to my thoughts on the WNBA. I really should give it a name of some sort. Okay, so I haven't been able to do a lot of recaps because I've been really busy at work, and the games are at really terrible times. So I've been having some really early morning meetings, so I had to sleep early to prepare for the early morning meetings. Otherwise, I would be a mess. So I decided to take a breather from the games. Although I did, of course, when I wake up, I do follow. I do like watch the highlights and watch the recaps, but it's just never the same as watching it live. Like when the back-to-back buzzer beater happened between the Seattle Storm and Dallas, that's Joe Lloyd and Arike Gumbawale. I wish I watched it live. Like the excitement of watching it live would have been great. So by the time I got back, I had a very busy day. Then the excitement's already done, and I was like, you know what, let it go. There'll be other buzzer beaters and other recaps to do. So I did watch some games, but not all. I watched the Chicago Indiana Fever back to back. I have some thoughts, but I'm definitely not worth recapping. The Chicago in the first outing were not great. Indiana Fever were not great. Second outing, Chicago showed some moments of brightness, I guess. But the Indiana Fever actually brought a little bit of fight. I was very impressed actually with the way they tried to fight back. And they could have won that game, but at um a point, you know what, let me go to the game. Let me go to the game. Oh, where is it? Yeah, today. Yeah. So they could have fought back. Like now they lost by just 4 points. So there was a time in the fourth quarter. So you can see the fourth quarter 16-13. So there was a time in the fourth quarter where Chicago had a very offensive slump. I think Ali Quigley was off the floor. I think even Candice Parker was off the floor at that point. So that was really their time. And then Chicago kept missing unnecessary like shots that they could have made. They just kept missing. They kept taking very radical threes that were not going anywhere. I don't know why they kept taking the threes, but they kept taking the threes and it wasn't working. Then they missed. So that was the time when Chicago, Indiana could have like really fought back, but Indiana also were in a shooting slump. So for like 3 minutes, maybe like 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, like from the seventh minute to like the third minute, nobody was scoring. So Indiana could have taken like that point where Chicago was like in a slump and really stepped on the gear, but they also kept missing shots. They kept fouling, unnecessary plays that I did not understand. Um, Missing free throws at crucial moments. Lizzie Allen was trying to keep them in the game. She did some threes that were very helpful. But they just fell apart. Like they fell apart, but they didn't fall apart. I don't understand. Like you could see that they wanted to win, but they just couldn't. Like they just couldn't. They just did not have what it took to win, and that is why Dallas is a good team. I know I was ash on Dallas. Was I ash on them? Yeah, Dallas is actually not a bad team. They're actually a really good team. Especially with the way they finished with Seattle down the stretch, even though that I thought Seattle should have won that game. They didn't execute well. They kind of Dallas wanted it more. And I always say when it comes to WNBA, anybody can win at any given night. Doesn't matter how talented you are, doesn't matter how great you are. If you don't show up, if you underestimate your opponent, if you don't stay in the game for the 4 quarters, you are going to lose. So that's what happened to Seattle. They kind of didn't bring in the pressure in the fourth quarter, and there were some stupid plays nobody understood, and they lost the game. And they honestly they deserved to lose that game because that was a game that they could have easily won, and I'm sure they know it. And so far they've been cruising through. I mean, they just walloped Indiana Fever twice. So I won't even talk about that game. Maybe I should, but that's another story. Anyway, so I'm talking of Indiana Fever. How do you solve a problem like Indiana? Chicago is not a good team. I'm sorry. I don't care if Candice Parker is there, Ali Quigley is there. I don't care. I don't think they're a good team. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. They just don't seem put together. Okay. It's not bad. Ali Quigley 16, Charlie Cooper 14, Candice Parker 20. It's actually not bad. That's actually not bad, actually, when you look at it. But I they didn't have rhythm, too many unnecessary turnovers. It was just a weird game. It was just a weird game. But Indiana, the stories about Indiana. In Chicago will figure it out. I'm not bothered about them. I'm not right now, they are not playing their best, but I mean they have a 3 points, so it can't be that bad. But Indiana Fever keeps it's not like they are like not shooting. Like of course there are some games. The Las Vegas one was a disaster. No, let me see their score so far. Las Vegas was a disaster. But I mean, the body are like 77. Okay, 69 is not good. 77, 78, 63 is really, really bad. 76. Ugh. All right. I mean, they haven't gone over 80. Okay, they did 80 with Liberty, but then it's Liberty, so nobody cares. Yeah, so yeah, they're not a good team. I'm sorry. They've not done over 80 points. They just don't have I think the problem is that they don't have an offense. They don't have an offensive flow. They just do things without they don't have a plan. I think that's the right word for them. They don't have a plan. I think their plan is get the ball to anybody that can score and score. That's it. They don't like take advantage of like mismatches, try to trap, just do some things like to ensure that somebody gets open. I don't think they do that. I think they just like, run around, and if it's open, score. If Tiara McCowan or whatever, I don't let me get a name right. Tiara McCowan. If she's open, send that ball. She just puts it in. Yeah. So I mean, she got 20 points. So like they don't have a plan. I think that's their problem. They don't have a plan, and they need to like play to the strengths of some people, which they are not doing. Like Kelsey Mitchell is a very, very good like 3-point shooter. She's a good player, but I mean, there's something about the team that just feels really, really off. I think they're disjointed. Although this was probably one of their better showings. They didn't, and I think that's another thing about them is they have this apathy. Like when they are losing, they just don't care anymore, and they just start playing really, really bad. And so you just can't see the fire in their eyes. But for today, I did see it, so I was impressed with what I saw. But they could have won this game honestly if they had executed better, made their free throws, stopped missing stupid shots that they should have made. And they really move the ball to people that they know can make shots instead of just giving it to anybody and hoping they make it. I'm surprised Daniel Robinson played only 16 minutes and Lindsay Allen 27. I thought it was supposed to be the other way around. But with her minutes, she really, really did impress. So I've never been a fan of Lindsay Allen, but I liked what I saw today for a point guard. But she's not like a point guard. Like she can't really, really create plays. I think they missed Julia Lamont. I think that's just the bottom line. All right. So enough about Indiana. We'll figure it out. What I would, if I were the GM of Indiana, what I would do is burn it all to the ground. Like trade everybody. Trade everybody. No, none of you are worth it. Yeah, not no, I mean you guys are good players, but you guys just can't. You can't take this franchise anywhere. So what I'll do is burn everything to the ground, dump all of them, then start from the scratch. I don't think, I mean, if they are, of course, it's like when people do, like, I had for a cheerleading squad, that every year you have to re-audition to be part of the squad. I think that's what Indiana FIFA should do. Let everybody go, then assess everybody, and then if they fit into what they want, then they can bring them back in. But it's not just going to be automatic. Like, they have to know that what do we want to build? How do we want to be a franchise going forward? And they should not build towards that, instead of just doing like Hail Mary, getting unnecessary rookies that they don't play, getting players that are not that great. Just doing anyhow. This is a sports business. They should do what Seattle did. Seattle, I think when they were going through their rebuild in 2015, when they drafted Lloyd 2015. So maybe like 2014 kind of thing. So they let go of almost all their players and left only Bird, and they built from the scratch using using the draft. So that's what Indiana should do. Build from the bottom. If this guys already want to build a franchise, I don't think she's that good. But if she's the one, let them do it. Just move like that. Anyway, so that's it about Indiana. Actually, this video wasn't supposed to be about Indiana, but I'm going to upload it anyway. Then the next one will be about the teams in the league and the rankings. All right. Thank you.